Welcome back to the Caring Conversation Studio, live from the Care Show in Birmingham, and with our sponsor, Cornerstone Care Solutions today. So we've got a new guest in the studio. Do you want to tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Telly Simmons. I work for Alternative Futures Group. We're a Northwest-based charity. We support adults with learning disabilities or mental health conditions, and I'm the Director of Operations for our Learning Disability Division.
Perfect. And you've been speaking today at the Care Show. So
Yeah.
what was your talk? Your talk was about the language used in care.
Yeah, so language has a real influence on the public perception of care. So I was thinking about it from, as a provider, we have to think about how language affects care for the people who use our services, also their families, and it's a real challenge at the moment for us in bringing people into the sector to help us do the important work that we do. And it's not always seen as an attractive industry to join. So we think that language can be a powerful change in how we can make the sector more attractive. We want people to believe that there is a career to be had in care. I mean, I first started out working as a support worker, and yeah, like many others, I thought this is really rewarding. There's job satisfaction here that maybe I wouldn't have got in my intended career, which was in retail management. So I made it a career, and 25 years later, I'm still here doing that.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily think support worker to CEO, right? Like you
No,
wouldn't,
and it is possible, you know, and we want people, you know, who are in school now thinking about, well, what do I do? What's my next step? And many people, care and support is something that affects so many of us. So people might think, well, I've got no experience of that, but they will have cared for a loved one, a family member, or for a permanent period of time, or even a short period of time. So at Alternative Futures Group, we're a values-based recruitment. So we take people and we give them all the training, but if people's values are right, so many of our best support workers, their last job could have been they were a plasterer or they worked in a factory, but they care about making a difference to people, so that's good enough for us.
So in terms of language then, have you got some examples of
so
things?
Again, so 25 years ago I first started working in care, and I heard, and probably sad to admit, maybe I use language that I now wouldn't want to hear or be associated with. The thought of taking people for a walk or feeding people, or describing somebody who's wheelchair bound instead of saying that person requires the use of a wheelchair for their mobility, or I'm here to support people with their meal times, feeding time. So I think also what doesn't help with that language is it's about the relationship with the person who's using that care and support. That's not a dignified way of speaking. So we listen to people about how they want to be spoken to, what language are they comfortable with. And then I also think, it's about how do we make that language more understood in the wider perception of society. Lots of people talk about the NHS. That's, relatively understood organisation, but social care isn't. I shared a story before about in the COVID pandemic, we talked about clapping for the NHS, but what about the social care workers that went in every single day? And that was an opportunity for me, because many of my friends and family thought I worked in the NHS, and I absolutely don't. So trying to use the right language for the people who use our services, also for our staff, but also in the wider society to understand what we do.
So what do we need to do? We just need to sort of make sure that whenever we present language externally, we use the right type of positive language. And then, do we correct people? Do we sort of pick up on things? I suppose in the media it happens a lot, doesn't it? Where an article will get published and they've used the wrong language, and everyone's why have they said it like that? It's really frustrating.
Yeah, and it is difficult, but I think we're not striving for perfection. We're striving for some progress. We're striving for people to just think before they speak, and to actively listen. Ask people, what would you like it to be referred to? But we've also got to understand that the language that's commonly known about care, you have to start somewhere. So I think, at Alternative Futures Group, we see it as a responsibility to try and educate people and lead the way, really, in the way that we use language, and help share the stories and successes of the outcomes that we help people to make. rather than what their needs are, more about what their strengths are, what have been their achievements. So that's the language I think we prefer to use, rather than doing to someone, supporting someone to do for themselves.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, what's the sort of future look like for AFG then? Obviously, it's
So exciting times as always, but we see technology as being a real enabler in the future for us. So care plus tech. Many technology options help people to be as independent as possible. So where someone might be reliant on a person to do certain tasks for them now, with technology that might be voice activated or pressing a button, can do things for people like open blinds, hoover the floor, help alert their family if they've not drank enough or eaten enough, or reminders to take medication. So all things that help people stay as independent as possible in their own home without having to think about longer term care decisions. That should be further on down the line, if not never at all, with the use of technology. So we are really excited to be part of a technology conference next week, where some of the people that we care and support for, where technology has been a real enabler for their independence, they're going to be joining us as well at that conference.
And so that's with just checking.
So just checking technology is part of that reassurance that I was talking about before. So instead of having to watch someone and know, have they been in the kitchen, have they had something to eat, have they taken their medicine, are they going to the toilet more frequently? Is that a sign that something, might not be right? Is someone not well? Just checking discreetly enables that to happen and alert somebody who can then intervene only when necessary. So really important technology.
Because even from a video, you might not be able to tell, even if they actually have had a drink, because either back
it's just
to the
subtle indicators, isn't it? I think, and I know for me, the thought of requiring care and support is real. It affects all of us. It might affect all of us at one time or another, for a permanent period of time or a short period of time because of illness. And I know I would like to be able to stay as independent as possible and not have to rely on someone else. So technology is really key to making that happen.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for coming to join me, and enjoy the rest of your day.
I will, and you.
We're going to take a short break for lunch now, so we'll see you in about 25 minutes, half an hour.